All right, thank you, Jenny. And I want to welcome Jason Rivera and Becca Smith from NetGain for our July installment of the Meridian Partner Spotlight series. Jason, if you advance the slide. I do want to introduce the NetGain folks. NetGain is a modular cloud-based automated lease compliance and loan management platform. Also supports advanced fixed assets and a more advanced monthly close process over and above that, of which is supplied by NetSuite. All of this is integrated to NetSuite, but I don't want to steal Jason or Becca's thunder, but do want to just notify everybody that our next spotlight session will be in the September timeframe with Satori reports, pre-built business intelligence for NetSuite, leveraging some advanced workflows and advanced search capabilities, and pre-built dashboards for a number of different business processes. Jason, if you hit the next slide. For those of you that may not be aware, Meridian is a Midwest-based NetSuite certified professional services organization. We are a reseller of NetSuite, a certified implementation partner, and supply ongoing managed services and support for the NetSuite platform. Part of our comprehensive process, we act a bit as a general contractor. As cool as NetSuite is, there are solutions, not unlike NetGain, that extend the value proposition for NetSuite, and Meridian works with probably 24 partners on a recurring basis. NetSuite, a newer partnership that we've entered into. And the purpose of the Spotlight webinar program is to highlight and allow several of our partners to present their case and their value proposition. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jason. He's going to take you through kind of an introduction to NetGain, and then we will have a bit of a demo delivered by Becca Smith. Jason, I'll let you guys introduce yourself and NetGain from here.
Thank you, Doug, and thanks everybody for the opportunity to meet with you. We appreciate the opportunity and the time that you've taken out of your day to learn about this partnership and our lease accounting solutions. Like Doug said, my name is Jason Rivera. I'm the partnership manager for the NetGain Meridian Business Partnership. I've got my colleague Becca Smith, CPA, and is really our product expert and our solutions consultant. So she's going to be a great resource when we take you into the actual product. But you want to do a quick introduction of yourself? Okay. Well, before we dive into the actual
sorry, Jason, I just got off mute. I muted myself, and I can unmute myself. Yeah, I'll just give my quick introduction. I'm Becca. So I started my career at Deloitte. I have a tax accounting background. Came over to NetGain, where I worked on the implementation team, working on actually putting our products into service for our clients. And now I'm on the sales side as a solutions consultant. So I just have more technical knowledge when it comes to our products, and so I will be leading the demo later on. So back to you, Jason.
Thank you. Great. Now, before we dive into the demo portion of the webinar, I want to share a bit about NetGain and sort of piggyback on what Doug said on the interest side is. Our suite of products, we're a native NetSuite app, which means all of our solutions will live inside your demo environment. So when you see this badge here on the right and see native, you know that you're going to have a seamless integration because of our native functionality. In addition, what we're seeing today, NetLease and NetLease, which is two of our 5 products within our product suite. So just setting the stage, we have NetLease and NetLease, which is our lease accounting offerings. And then we have Net Asset, which is our advanced fixed asset module. Net Loan, which is our advanced loan and debt tracking solution. And last but not least is Net Close, which is designed to help streamline the closing process for finance and accounting teams. And with that, let's talk a little bit about NetLease and NetLease for a few minutes, and we'll dive into the actual product. NetLease, which was designed specifically to help organizations transition to new lease accounting standards in ASC 842 and internationally with IFRS 16 prior to the December 31st, 2022 deadline. Similarly, NetLease, which handles the revenue recognition side for organizations that are leasing out as a business model. This product will also aid in that transition to ASC 842 as well as IFRS 16. So with that, we'll move beyond PowerPoint. I'll pass the ball over to Becca to walk through the product and give you a little bit deeper dive first around NetLease and then NetLease. So, Becca.
Yep, we can see your screen, Becca. Becca, we don't have any audio from you.
Oh, I'm just talking to myself. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, lots of technical difficulties today, but I think we're doing good. So, yeah, exactly like Jason was saying, our products are really coming from this need inside of NetSuite to be able to easily track leases, fixed asset accounting. We also have this loan product. So we've got quite a few products going on here. They're fully embedded apps. So what this means is that we download it into your NetSuite instance, and then you're going to be able to access all that functionality here within the dropdown. So a lot of our clients don't even notice when they're inside of NetSuite versus inside of our NetGain products. So it's a very seamless integration here, because we are essentially NetSuite. So we're going to have these apps download directly, again, just like I said, and then I'm going to actually go over NetLease today. So just some kind of highlights up front. This is really a product that is meant to do all of this technical accounting around the 842 standards here within NetSuite. So that way we can have your leases sitting here inside of the system, running journal entries, running bills directly here within the product, which just makes your life easier. So just some kind of overview of the product in general. So we do have a knowledge base. This is going to be our support. We are able to have really clean walkthroughs of how to do almost anything in our product here within the knowledge base. And we also always have support available as well. So lots of our clients, whenever they need help, like it's a very quick turnaround. We also have some other kind of just help pieces here. For setup, we've got some different pieces. We do help with implementations. And so during the implementation process, we're going to set up different lease types in the system. This is going to kind of help categorize the different types of leases that you're managing, as well as determine what Gmail accounts we're going to be hitting. And then there's some other customization that can go on here too. So that gets us into our lease management. So this is going to be where we're actually putting leases in our system. So we have clients that have 2 leases. We have clients that have thousands of leases. So really kind of any level of volume we're working with here, you're going to be able to put it here in the system. I'm going to show how we put in a single lease, but just wanted to say up front, we do have the ability to use NetSuite CSV uploads. And so typically what we see during, especially implementation, when we're putting all leases into the system at once, we do have that ability to just use an Excel sheet to put all the information in here. So that's also very handy. So as far as the lease record itself goes, this is going to be kind of your main hub. We've got our primary information up here. This is going to be that name, classification, types, and then we've got our schedule information. And this is going to be the actual dollar amounts that we're working with here. So I'm just going to put in our example. Let's say it's an equipment lease. And we'll call it a third. So these are going to be those types that we set up here in the system. These are going to be determining our GL, our GL accounts that we're hitting. So I'll just use an equipment lease. You can see that's automatically classified, and this is the financing lease. This is just something we have set up in the system as a default. But we are able to handle non-cash basis finance, or sorry, non-GAAP cash basis accounting. financing, operating, of course, and then we also are able to do short-term or low-value leases here in the system, as well as a sublease if it is operating. So I'm going to do a financing lease, and then I'm going to choose my subsidiary here. We are fully embedded, and so these drop-downs that you're seeing are pulling directly from your NetSuite lists. So subsidiary, if I hop over to my accounting tab here, you'll see that I can do department, class, location, and again, these are just going to be your lists exactly from NetSuite. We also have the ability to add any custom segments. Sometimes you get that question. Yes, we can definitely add custom segments as well as any other fields that may be relevant here. I can then choose a vendor. So I'll just grab one. And then again, we can add and remove fields as they are applicable here. So now I'm going to put in the actual amounts here for the lease. So let's say this one starts this year, back in February. I'm going to say that this is a 24-month lease, and the initial payment is, let's say, $2,500 with an incremental borrowing amount, let's go 3.2. So this is going to be that standard information you're entering for your lease. We are also able to put in a prepaids, initial direct costs, lease incentives. If these are relevant to leases, then we're able to put it in here, and the schedule is going to automatically account for that, as well as put it into our journal entries. So those are just easy to enter here on the side. For our payments, so you can see I put an initial monthly payment amount. We also have this payment schedule down here. So I've got my uplift ability. What this is going to do is if I want to, say, put in a increase every single year, let's say it's an annual increase, you can choose the frequency there. Let's say we want to increase by 2%. You can see here I've only got 2 years on my lease itself, and so it's going to add one additional line here with that increase. But if we were to have multiple years on this, then we're going to have lots of lines showing here at the bottom. I can then go in and edit these. I can change the amount, and I can also add additional lines. So if I wanted to add an additional line here, say 5/1/2023, and say this is increasing to 3,000, we can put that in here. It's going to automatically put that as monthly, but again, you can choose how often those payments are happening here. So we have a lot of flexibility when it comes to setting up this lease, and that's kind of what I want to show here, right? We can put in the payments a couple different ways. You can do these different initial prepaids examples. Those are going to also be able to go in. And then we also have a couple buckets here for, you can see I've got CAM and insurance labeled. These are non-lease payments. And so what we're doing here is they're not going to have any GL impact when it comes to our amortization schedule. But what they will do is funnel through onto our bills when we create bills off of these lease records. So that's something that we can also put in here. Those are just dollar amounts. Okay, so with that, I'm going to click Save here. That's going to actually create this lease record here inside of NetSuite. So you can see that's saved all that information now. If I were to go to my lease payments, I can see that showing here. And now I need to actually generate my schedule. So I'm going to click on this Generate Schedule button right here. And this is going to start that process of actually creating the schedules for the life of this lease here in the system. What this does is then it gives us this ability up front to know exactly where the GL accounts that we're hitting and how much for the entire life of the lease. Makes it for a pretty clean review process. You're able to see all of the effect that this lease will have on your GL up front. It's also going to give us the ability to then put the status into a commence status. So currently we're sitting here in pending. And what we're going to do next is change this over to commence. And what that allows us to do is actually run journal entries. So the idea is that we're able to use NetSuite's roles and permissions here inside of the system. Again, another benefit of being directly embedded, these roles that you've already set up here in the system are going to be able to be used to determine what activities inside of NetLease we can do. So typically you'd see a staff who is preparing the actual lease records here. And then we're going to have a manager, perhaps level, come in here and be able to now commence the lease. So I'm going to go to our schedule really quick. So you can see here that it's generated that schedule. It's got that increase in here. We've got that to the 550 and then the 3,000. Our interest expense allocation to the principal piece. We've got a lease liability on our right of use assets sitting in here up front. And then those are both being amortized down a straight line for the amortization expense and then by the principal on the payment amount. So that is It's got it calculated for us. Again, this is kind of one of the benefits of our product is that you're putting in the information that you know, and then we're calculating this entire schedule for you. So you don't have to worry about that right of use asset and lease liability. We're going to calculate those numbers, put them here on the books for you. And then all you're doing is coming in here and running your journal entries every single month. So I'm going to click this commence button. Again, that just changes our status, and that allows us to then run journals. As you can see, I now have that button available. So I'm going to click on my Run Journals button, and this is going to bring us to a different page. So, and this kind of opens up the next segment I want to talk about for a second. We do have the ability to do everything I'm doing in Mass. So I already mentioned that we can upload leases via the CSV imports. We can also do those different activities I was just doing of schedule generation and commencing the leases in Mass as well. So you simply go to these pages, and then you're able to be able to select the leases you want to create lease schedules for, commence, and then it'll change those and update those processes for us. We also have the ability to do some other actions here in the system in Mass as well. So with our journal processing, this is automatically filtering to that lease that we were just on. So that's why you're only seeing one here. But if I were to remove this filter, you see all of the lease journals that need to be ran for the period that I'm currently in. So that also makes it pretty simple in here to be able to come in and run all of your journals all at once. So I'm going to run a couple journals here. You can see I've got 3 running. So I'm going to generate transactions, and that's going to actually post true journal entries here inside of NetSuite. So again, fully embedded, so we don't have to worry about exporting journal entries or figuring out what accounts we need to be hitting like after the fact. Like we are able to set everything up front, and then you're just coming in here every single month and running those journals here directly in your system. While those are running, I'm actually going to go back to our lease. And from our lease, we have a couple different sub-tabs down here, and I just want to talk on those really quick while we're waiting for those journals to run. So this first tab is our amortization schedule. That's going to be our schedule of the lease payments here in the system, our actual payments, and any other schedules that may be relevant. Those are all going to show here. We also have this related records tab. So this is going to be where any bills that we generate later on are going to show any related transactions in the system. So being inside the NetSuite, you can have lots of different types of transactions. You may have an asset record, you may have a loan record or something like that. Leasing doesn't really apply as much, but when we get over to the lessor side, I'll show you guys what that looks like when we do have assets attached to the lessor records. And those are going to show here under the related records tab. We are also able to have child leases. So if you did have any child leases built into the system, those would also show here. On the accounting tab, we talked about this for a second, but I'm going to show a little bit more here. Those, again, kind of department class locations are going to show here. We do have some disclosure information. So if we have any variable rates, you can put them in here. It does not have a GL impact, but it gives the ability to have kind of that visibility of what's happening on the lease record. We are multi-book enabled. So we definitely see sometimes where clients are using multi-book inside of NetSuite. We've got plenty of clients that do that. And what we do here is really simple. You're able to come in here, just select the secondary book that you want this to run in, choose the classification for your secondary book. A common example is going to be GAAP in your primary book, and then IFRS in your secondary book. So you've got operating running in GAAP, but then you need financing running in IFRS. So then you can simply come in here, select financing as that secondary classification, and we'll run both sets of journal entries for you. So it takes a lot of the maintenance out of a lot of the maintenance work out of the picture for you guys. It's just going to happen here on the back end. We do have the accounting overrides, so in arrears versus in advance for those payments, and we do have the ability to do a no GL impact here. So if you have leases and you don't want to have them actually running journal entries, but you want them to be able to be tracked here inside of NetSuite, it's actually a pretty common use case, and we have this easy checkbox here so that you don't have any journal entry impact. We haven't talked a ton about 840. If you haven't switched to 842 yet, you are able to put your leases in here as 840 leases. So you just check this box, and it's going to run your 840 schedule, and that's the journals it's going to run until we run a conversion. So it's super easy to do a conversion here inside of NetLease. I'm going to just show you really quick. It's actually in our setup, and run this 840 842 conversion. You simply come in here. It's going to pull in any lease with that box checked, this one. And then you're able to select them and then process. And our system is going to be running consecutive schedules for you. So it knows what your lease liability and right of use should be based off the information you put in. And it knows what you currently booked based off your 840 schedule. And it's just going to run a conversion journal entry for you. So that's also super easy here in the system. Moving on a bit, we do have the ability to have any contract provisions entered in here. These are just common things that we're asked for, and so we've got the ability to come in here and easily put in those contract provisions. These couple tabs, property insurance, maintenance, these are going to be tabs that we've added here so that you have the ability to kind of edit this and put any information that may be relevant here in your system. So if you want to keep more details here related to your property, we've got those fields. We can add fields, remove fields. Again, we tend to customize these per client, and that's part of the implementation process. Documents, I'll hit on really quick. This is just native NetSuite. So again, fully embedded. So some of this functionality is just NetSuite functionality, and this is one of those. And you have this ability to drag and drop files in here or add a file, and that's going to go directly into your NetSuite documents file cabinets. Modifications. So any modifications we do on this lease are going to show here. Same with any terminations. We've got those running lists here, so very easy to come in as like from the audit perspective and be able to see what's actually happening on these leases. System notes. This is native NetSuite. It's just going to give you a list of any changes made to your lease record. So easy to see that in here. And then we do have the allocations piece here, so you're able to split out your journal entries if you've got different departments and you want to split them by a percentage. We'll do that here in the system as well. So having hit those sub tabs, I'm going to refresh real quick here. And we can see that our journal entries have now ran. So I've got that initial balance, and I've got those 2 amortization journal entries here in the system. I'll open these up real quick just so we can look at those. But you can see here, these are just journal entries here inside of NetSuite. They do have their own title here, but we're able to see that they're hitting that right of use account and the lease liability account here, exactly what was showing on our schedule. It's got that lease tag to it, so it makes it for easy reporting purposes. If I scroll over to my amortization, you can see I've got that lease payable clearing account. We use clearing accounts anytime cash is being hit. That way we're able to, when we create bills, remove it from the clearing account and put it into our AP or AR accounts. Just makes it for an easier transition over to bills and invoices, as well as helps you keep track of what's actually been moved over to bills. We've got that expense, the lease long-term liability, our interest expense. You can see those are broken out because this is a financing lease. And then we've got a right of use accumulated amortization. So hopefully that is what you would expect out of your journal entries. And again, those are super easy to run. As you saw, I just kind of hit the button and then you can run these for all of your leases at once here in the system. So once you've got your lease running, we do have this ability to modify, transfer, terminate. Modifications, you can have them as GL, or you can do them as forward changes. It's just going to update your schedule for you. Super easy to run modifications. It's just a one screen, one button process. Transfers, you can change the subsidiary, the department class or location your lease is sitting in. So that's super easy to do here in the system. It's going to run the journal entries for you again. And then any terminations will also be running those journal entries for you. So that is the bulk of our processes when it comes to NetLease. Again, just kind of reiterate, right? We've basically had this ability to put in your lease, go through and get it ready by schedule generation commencing, and then every month you come in, you simply go to run monthly lease journals here. And that's going to bring us to our main page. You can see if I flip over to a month that has more journals available to be ran. We've got all of our journals sitting here. It's really easy to come in, click mark all, click generate transactions, and that's going to be your monthly process of putting these leases into service. The next step is going to be coming back to our monthly transactions and running bills. So when it comes to running bills here in the system, we do create actual NetSuite bills. So again, fully embedded, so there's no uploads needed here. It's just going to create an actual bill here in the system based off of our leases that we've got here. So if I were to go back to that lease I was just on, and if we click bill here, it's going to bring us to that same page, but it'll filter it by our lease, and then we can generate this transaction. So that's going to create that bill for us here in the system. We'll give that a second to run because I do want to show you the bill. But while we're waiting for that, we do have reports as well here in the system. So I'll go over reporting next. So we do have quite a few built out just out of the box. We have our favorites tab. We've got all reports, quite a few disclosure reports here as well. So I'm going to be showing that here in a second. Let me just refresh this again. Oh, looks like it's taken a second. So while we're waiting for that, I actually am going to show our reports because we also want to hit NetLease for today, so I don't want to run out of time. So on our favorite reports here, the main ones are going to be this ability to have a roll forward report, and then this undiscounted lease maturity waterfall report. So these are probably the two most common reports that our clients are using. If I go over here and open this up, it's taking a second. There we go. So this is your standard roll forward report. This is GL based versus subledger based, and so this is going to be based off actual transactions here in the system. You can also do a subledger version that's going to show you future. You can look at like planned things that way. You got a beginning balance, or ending balance, and then the additions, terminations, and other. And these are fully drillable. So our reports are going to be able to be opened up, and you can look at these. And it's going to have the actual journal entries here on the inside and all the leases that we're looking at. And then it also has our filters here at the bottom. So you're able to change the subsidiary you're looking at, use any of the segments, and then we can also change that accounting period we're actually looking at too. So quite a bit of flexibility here with our filters, and then also just really clear visibility when it comes to our reports. The undiscounted lease maturity waterfall, this is probably everyone's favorite report since this is your standard disclosure that you need. You can open these up again, and it's going to give you your list of leases here in the system. It's going to give you all the details here, or you can just see them as operating and financing. It's got that 5 years thereafter the payments and liability and interest broken out for you. And again, we also have filters on here. So these are scripted reports. Another benefit of just being inside of NetSuite is that we can do save searches. So if you're familiar with save searches inside of NetSuite, they give you the ability to come in and actually create your own reports based off of the information that is in here. So if I go to my list again, you can see I've got a couple different save search options in here too. And then these are able to be edited as much as needed here in the system. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go back. There we go. So this bill did eventually come through. So here's our bill. So I'm going to open this up. And this is, again, just going to be a native NetSuite bill here in the system. You can see it's got that line item for our rent, for that dollar amount that needs to be paid. Our GL impact is going to be moving that dollar amount from that clearing account to your accounts payable. And then it just goes through your standard AP process. So you can make payments, you can credit this, just like you could anything else here inside of NetSuite. So that makes your billing process super simple in here as well. So with that, I think we've hit everything that I wanted to do with our NetLease product. Just some other kind of additional features. You can generate packages. So those reports I was just showing you have the ability to actually set what reports you want to be running, say every 2 weeks or every month, and then you can come in here and just generate the package really easily. We also have, you may have noticed, the percentage rent feature here. So if percentage rent is something that applies to your business, this is an additional add-on to NetLease. But we do have the ability to kind of just make this an additional step of going in and calculating your sales for the period based off save searches that we have inside of NetSuite. And then we're going to use that sales information and the contract information that you enter for your percentage rent. So your break point and your percentage. And then we're going to use all that information to then actually just have an additional journal entry and additional payments as you hit your break points. So that's also here in the system. Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to hop over to NetLessor. But if you have any questions on the NetLease side, feel free to reach out. We are always happy to answer emails as well. So on the lessor side, this is going to be an additional product. So they are separate here in the system. We do get that question sometimes. We didn't want you paying for something you weren't using. So at the end of the day, we do like an add-on version. So if the NetLessor is a separate product from NetLease, they are fully independent of each other. You can purchase one or either, one or the other, or you can purchase both. But the lessor side is going to feel very similar. So all of our products have similar UI. It does feel like NetSuite when you're in it, as you probably noticed. And then again, our processes are going to be pretty similar across the board when it comes to our products. So we also have our knowledge base here for the lessor side set up. Again, we will be setting up different lease types, choosing the GL impact that we're going to be having there. And then on our management side, we're going to have our lease list and then the ability to add new leases. So I didn't show this on the lessee side, but this is our list of leases that we have here in the system. So it's easy from the management perspective to come in here to see all of your leases. You can add filters, you can change your views, just standard NetSuite functionality here when it comes to the viewing. So I'm going to jump into this one as an example. And I'm not going to create a lessor lease here. just because it's going to feel very similar to the lessee side, and I want to hit some of the differences between the products. So this is a lease that I've already built out. You can see it's going to feel very similar with that primary information here up top with that name, the type that we selected, the classification. This is an operating lessor lease. We also support sales type and direct financing as well as short term. So I don't, because this lease has already been created, I don't have the, let me look at this. So you got the direct financing, operating, sales type, your cash basis. So those are going to be the different types of leases that we can do here in the system. Okay, perfect. And then from we also have our subsidiaries, our customer here. So rather than the vendor side, we're on the customer side here so that we can do invoicing. You can see I've got my invoice button here at the top. And then also that currency. We don't really talk about multi-currency, but we can handle different currencies here in the system for both products. So you can see I've got my schedule information, just your commencement date, your end date, got an initial payment amount, the life. We've got a couple additional fields here on the lessor side. Since our product is actually going to be calculating your lease classification for you. It's a feature you can turn off, but if I were to go in and actually maybe I will show what this lease record looks like when I'm creating it. When you go in and put in your information here, you're going to be able to then click calculate lease classification, and it's going to automatically calculate what this type of lease should be. Like I said, that is a feature that we can turn off. I'm sorry about that bar on the top. So let me just switch over really quick. Here, this is where I was. Perfect. So yes, we are able to actually generate the type for you. And you can see how this is being generated by going into our lease classification. So that accounting tab and our lease classification tab, and then you're able to see that percentage of useful life, the net present value of your payments, and the different kind of yes or no criteria as well in here. And based off of this, it's going to put it in as sales type or direct financing or operating in the system. And then it's also easy to see why something is being calculated the way it is here under this tab. So we are accountants, and we try to make this as accountant friendly as possible when it comes to looking at your processes here in the system. So as far as our schedule goes, so I've got payment amount here. If I go to my payments and invoices, you can see these are all of the payments that I've got here in the system. So that's going to show you that information. And then we've got our actual schedule here. So this is an operating lease, right? So we've got our payments, we've got our lease income, we've got our deferred rents kind of building up, and then it's starting to go back down as we go to the end of the lease. So you can see here, we've got a payment increase, which is causing that lease income to be straight aligned, recognized. And again, we also have the ability to put in your payments here, just like we did in our lease site. So when you put in your payment information, you're able to, there's our payment information. So you can choose, you can put different payments, residual values, those can be put in here as well, since they are part of the calculation when it comes to your lease classification. So that's going to be all part of the setup from the lease side. Going back to our amortization schedule, we also have those journal entries. So if I were to click into this, again, it's going to feel really similar to the other product, but it's going to have that journal entry, the net investment lease clearing account. So this is that clearing account of the dollar amount we're actually receiving. Because this is operating, we've got lease revenue, and then we've got our deferred rent receivable. If this was financing, it would put your net investment and lease on the books as well. So that is all going to be calculated in here. If we were to go to our sales type, you can see it's got that lease income, interest income, your net investment and lease, your lease receivable, and then we do have the ability to have this guaranteed residual value here too for the interest. So that's kind of our lessor schedule and record here in the system. We do have those subtabs here as well. So payments, we already looked at related records. So this is something I did want to show on this lease record specifically, since I've got it. We do have this ability to attach things in the system. So if I go to my attached assets, this is going to show a list of the 3 assets that have been connected to this lease. You can go the other direction too, where I've got like multiple leases on one asset. So once you have these records here inside of NetSuite, it's really easy to connect them. And then also that provides this kind of nice visibility of being able to actually open this up and see that information related to the asset record here in the system. So I wanted to show that as well. Okay. For the accounting tab, we kind of already talked about this. We have department class and location here as well. Secondary classification and secondary book. If you are multi-book enabled, it needs to be using that. That lease classification we already talked about for a second. The mapping, GL impact, etc. Again, this is all going to be determined by that type that we select at the onset when we create this. Documents are going to be just again named NetSuite documents. Maintenance, that's an additional tab where you can put in different maintenance records. So you're able to see any history here. Again, these are just kind of additional fields that we've entered based off of client asks, and it's something we're happy to help set up during implementation. Modifications, terminations are always going to show here in the system as well. So once you've got the information here in the system, then it's going to be a similar process of just coming in and running your journal entries. So we've already ran journals for this one, but again, we can also do pretty much anything in mass when it comes to our lessor side. So determining that lease classification, generating the schedule, condensing it, modifying close that terminate can also be done in mass. And then for your monthly processes, you just come in here and you can run your journal entries. So that's going to feel very similar again, where it shows you a list. Oh, and I'm in 2018. So let me scroll over to the where we've actually got leases sitting. So you can see here it's got all those leases. I can just click mark all and then generate transactions. And that's going to put these here in the system for us. Invoicing can also be done in mass here. So similar to our other products, this is just going to be the invoicing versus billing. So it creates a similar record, but you're able to also do this in mass. And so if you just come down to a month where they need to be ran, and this will automatically fill in as well as you start closing periods. It's defaulting to my first open period, which is in 2018 in my system. You can mark all and then click generate transactions, and that's going to create all of the invoices for these lessor records here in the system. We do tend to see more customization around the lessor side than the lessee side, since it is revenue generating. So I just want to reiterate the fact that we do have this ability to. Where did my lessor lease? Let me pull that up really quick. I'll go back to my lessor lease. So we do have the ability to add any fields here, remove any fields here. We can play with these different subtabs down here, add new ones. I've got like the property information here that I've added for a client. So you can really have full control over how you want these records to show here in the system and what fields you want here. We also always have system notes again, so full audit trail of what's happening here on the records. Okay. So I know I put a lot of information out there for the lessor side. I guess the last piece would be reporting. So we do have reports here for lessor as well. If I go to all of my reports here in the system, this is going to give me that list. These are out of the box. We have the discount lease maturity for this one as well as our roll forward. If I can find it really quick. We have that net investment in lease. There's a lease receivable clearing. So versus a lease payable, we get a lease receivable clearing account. So that's going to give you a reconciliation report, so you can easily see what has payments against it. These are examples of saved searches. So like if I were to open up my additions here, this is an example of a saved search here in the system. You have the ability to add filters here. You can edit this search. This is full flexibility of going in here and using this as your base to then create whatever report you want in the actual system. This is ending within 90 days. That's the one that people tend to like want to have email notifications on. That lease payment waterfall report. This is one that clients often like as well. You've got those filters here at the bottom. You can choose what periods we're looking at. If you want to be looking at a quarter instead, this is something that clients are often pulling as well. So quite a bit of flexibility when it comes to our reports here in the system. All right, and then I think with that, we have hit everything in the lessor side. So sometimes clients, they definitely like to see, so if I were to do a full demo with the client, like obviously we would go through and actually create an entire record here, and similar to how we did it on the lease side, but like I was saying, it's going to feel really similar as far as like the UI, right? You're going to be putting in the names, the schedule information, the payment amounts. Really the only difference is that after I put this one in, I'm going to go then run my lease classification here in the system. Okay, I guess just kind of other fun features we have. One of those is going to be the ability to refresh leases. This is a nice feature if you make a mistake. You're easily able to go in, and all of our products have this. So it's just kind of a nice feature of being able to go in, and what it does is it removes all journal, it deletes all journal entries. It can remove any invoices or bills associated with the lease, and then it puts it back into pending status. So especially during implementation, if you want to come in here and kind of play with your leases to see what it looks like as an 842 and operating or financing, and you want to be able to kind of see your different options in here, you're able to run these repeatedly and be able to kind of see what it looks like here in the system before running journal entries as well. So those are our products. I think with that, I guess my only other thing would be a plug for we do have our other products too. We have Net Asset, we have Net Loan, and we also have a close product that's going to have the ability to help with your close process here inside of NetSuite. So lots of different functionality that we are currently have and are continuing to build out as well. So I think that's going to be it for me today. So Jason, I will give it back to you.
Thank you, Becca. And with that, I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to present our NetLease and NetLease solutions. As Becca said, so much more than just lease accounting, but it's obviously a very, very strong area for us. If there are additional questions around this product or other products, we'll certainly follow up as needed. Feel free to reach out to your point of contact within Meridian Business, and we'll look forward to meeting you at some point. So with that, go ahead and
Jason, if you could share your screen again.
hand this over to Doug. Certainly.
Perfect. Becca, I wanted to thank you very much for the demonstration, and Jason assisting in coordinating today's partner spotlight series. Just a commercial again. Our next scheduled event is September 22nd at 1 p.m. Central for Satori. See natively integrated reporting and dashboard capability as an extension of NetSuite. Jason, if you could advance the slide. Again, Meridian, we're experts in all phases of ERP, focused on the NetSuite solution. But again, the purpose of the partner spotlight is to bring additional resources and solutions like NetGain to light and share this with you. There will be a blog post and a copy of the demonstration that Becca performed on the Meridian website here in the next 7 to 10 days. So check back early and often, and we'll get that out to you, as well as the social post from our social media outlets announcing the availability of both of those resources. And one more to advance one more time, Jason, if there are any questions you have or you want information on Net Asset, Net Loan, or Net Close, feel free to email sales@meridianbusiness.com, or like I said, you can access this material on our website here shortly, and we can put you in touch directly with Jason and the sales resources at NetGain to that end. If you have questions about any other aspect of NetSuite, feel free to reach out to us at sales@meridianbusiness.com. And with that, I want to conclude today's partner spotlight. Again, tip of the cap and a thank you to Jason and Becca. Jenny, always appreciate you getting these coordinated, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on our next session. Good afternoon.